Could a team from outside the top six win the SEC tournament? Yeah, I think they could. And I think all year we've seen a little bit of separation between those top six teams. You've got Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, South Carolina, and Florida. Those six teams have kind of separated themselves. I kind of think Texas A&M has a chance to be in the mix with those six teams, and maybe even Mississippi State. So we're going to go through and do some predictions here. There's so many different ways this could go. I don't feel super confident. I'm sure a lot of people, I've done this before, and it's very tough to predict this tournament. It's the best team doesn't always win. It's just the way it works, and it's always been that way in the SEC tournament. And really, you can even go to March Madness, the big tournament as well. But we'll start with Vanderbilt, Arkansas. Vandy coming off of a big win over Florida. Arkansas has been playing so much better as of late. They've come up really close in some games. Haven't quite been able to win them. They really should have beaten Alabama. You look at the Kentucky game, they had them on the ropes late, and then they kind of gave that one away. I just think Arkansas, the way they've been playing, even though they haven't won some of these games, it's really, I look at it one of two ways. They're either going to build on that, they're going to have some confidence, they're going to come in and play well, or because they didn't win those games, is the belief gone? Has it kind of blown up? Because this is still a really talented team, and I think they win this game. So I'm going to go with Arkansas over Vanderbilt in the first game on Wednesday night. Actually, I don't know who plays when, but I think that might be the first game. Anyways, we'll go to Missouri, Georgia next. You look at this Missouri team, and you wonder, how did they not win a single game? It's just crazy because you look at the roster, you look at the team, they're not that bad, and yet they just couldn't seem to put it together this season. You look at Georgia, a team that's definitely going to fight. I think this will be a really good game, a close game, maybe a lower scoring game. But I just think Missouri, they find a way. They finally get their win. They get it here in the SEC tournament. I'm going to go with Missouri to upset Georgia and advance to the second round. All right, so we go back to the top now. Mississippi State, LSU. This should be a pretty good matchup here. I think the size of Mississippi State makes the difference here. I think that they find a way to get it done. A team that's still maybe playing for their tournament lives. If they lose this game, could they potentially be in trouble? I think if they win this game, they should be in. So I'm going to go with the Bulldogs of Mississippi State to beat LSU. Then we got Arkansas, South Carolina. South Carolina, the surprise team in the SEC this year. And it seems like every time you start to count them out, they prove you wrong. And they've done it all year. But I think Arkansas is a team that has potential. I think someone is going to, a couple teams are going to shake things up. I've had as soon as I saw the bracket, I had the two teams that I thought would maybe make a run. I'm going to say Arkansas upsets South Carolina, and the Razorbacks advance. Of course, they've got to win this tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. So they're definitely playing for their postseason lives. We've got Ole Miss, Texas A&M next. Ole Miss is a team that, started the year off so well, but they've kind of gone downhill since then. Texas A&M playing really well as of late, and this is a team that you do not want to play in the postseason. Buzz Williams has done it over and over again. I think the Aggies win this one over Ole Miss. All right, then we got Missouri, Florida. Yes, Missouri gets the one win, and good for them, but Florida going to be way too much for them. I'm going to go with the Gators here, and Florida will advance to play Alabama. So we go to the quarterfinals now, Mississippi State versus Tennessee. This should be a fairly good game. I just think Tennessee's got too much firepower on offense. Dalton Connect probably going to have a big game, and Tennessee will advance to the semifinals. Then we go to Arkansas, Auburn. This one's tough for me because, again, I said I think a team is going to make a run, and I've got Arkansas making it at least to this point. I think Auburn's a team that can absolutely win this tournament. In fact, I think any of the top 7 seeds, so we're talking about those 6 teams and Texas A&M, I think any of the 6 teams at the top, I don't feel quite as good about South Carolina and Alabama for different reasons, but definitely those other 5 I really feel like could win this tournament this year. And as soon as I say that, watch South Carolina or Alabama wind up winning this tournament. But yeah, I'm just going to go with Arkansas. I think Arkansas pulls off another win. They beat Auburn. Again, I do not like making that pick because I think Auburn has a really, really good chance to win this tournament. And that could wind up looking really stupid. And it's a risky pick because Arkansas could lose to Vanderbilt. But, I don't have anything to lose here. It's just a video. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Texas A&M, Kentucky in the next game. Kentucky's been playing so well. They look like a team that could make a really deep run in the NCAA tournament. And I think they can. I think that they will. But I don't think they're going to make a deep run in the SEC tournament because it's just what Texas A&M does. And I think Texas A&M shocks the Wildcats. They beat Kentucky. They advance to the semifinals. We've seen them do it before. And they're going to have a game under their belt. Kentucky going to have all that rest. Sometimes that's not a good thing, especially for a team that relies on their offense like Kentucky does. Maybe if they're not shooting great in this game, Texas A&M takes advantage. The Aggies win. And remember, they beat them in overtime very early in the season. I don't know if I can't remember if they played again after that. But Aggies advance to the semifinals. Then we've got Florida, Alabama. They played twice fairly recently. Both teams winning on their home court. Alabama's just been trending in the wrong direction. I think they rely on the three-point shot too much. It's great when they fall, but when they don't, it's definitely gotten them into trouble. Florida, a team that's much more balanced. I think the Gators really had a great chance to win that first game, and they put it on Alabama in the last game. I think Florida's the better team, and I'm going to go with Florida to advance to the semifinals. Then we got Tennessee, Arkansas. I think the Cinderella run ends right here. The Razorbacks, again, I think they have a chance to go on a run in this tournament, but I don't think it's going to continue. Tennessee is just too good of a team. I've got the Vols winning here and advancing to the championship. And again, that's what's so hard about these predictions. I think Arkansas could make it to this point, but they could also lose to Vanderbilt, and that's kind of been the Arkansas team we've seen all year. And so it's obviously a very risky pick to put them there. And I think if Auburn winds up here, I think Auburn has a really good chance to beat Tennessee. So again, that's why I don't feel super great about putting Arkansas in that spot, because I think if Auburn can get to this game, I think Auburn might actually beat Tennessee. And again, it's tough to predict. But anyways, we got Texas A&M, Florida. I think the Aggies keep it going. I think they beat Florida. Again, this is just a team that you don't want to play in the postseason. They're very hard to prepare for, and you don't have time to prepare. You don't have 2 or 3 days. So I think the Aggies beat Florida. I'm going with Texas A&M to advance here to play Tennessee. These two teams played twice in the regular season, and we saw really 2 games that weren't very close. And so what's going to happen here in the championship? I do feel like Tennessee is the best team. I know they just lost to Kentucky, but when you look at everything that they have on both sides of the ball, the size they have, the scoring, the defense, they've got the total package. And I think this might be enough to get Texas A&M into the NCAA tournament. I think it will be enough to get them into the tournament. Of course, we thought that, I don't know if it was maybe a couple of years ago where they went on the run and then they didn't make it in. I think they even made it to the championship game. I can't remember which year that was now, but and we saw them get left out, and Buzz Williams went on that rant. So if they get left out again, it's going to be pretty bad. But I think they get to this point, but Tennessee winds up winning the championship. I just think they're the safest pick. I think they're the best team in the conference, and I think they will win it. But if it's not Tennessee, again, I may circle back to that Auburn pick. I think Auburn potentially gets some revenge on Tennessee if they can get to that point. And then perhaps against Texas A&M, that could be a really good game between Auburn and Texas A&M. Maybe the Aggies wind up winning that, or if Auburn gets Alabama or Florida, I would probably pick Auburn in that game. So, I think Tennessee, Texas A&M, or Auburn. Those are my 3 picks. I think it's going to be one of those 3 teams. Or Kentucky. Now, if Kentucky can get past Texas A&M, obviously this team's playing really well. So we'll say 4. Those are my 4 picks. I think it will come from those 4 teams. And again, it's about making shots. It's about getting hot. You could say, well, no, this team is definitely better than this team. Well, they might be, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. It's a different ball game when you get to the postseason. And I'm going to go with, again, Tennessee, the safest pick to win this tournament. But I'm going to go with some teams to make some surprise runs. Again, Arkansas and Texas A&M. Would love to get your thoughts and your predictions. Let me know how you think it's going to play out down in the comments below.